Okay, so we are continuing. Let's actually continue with our work, our information here. I've been explaining, and we need to understand each and every item. So now we are continuing. Number 2, the sales level required to earn a desired profit. This very analysis, Cvpa analysis, can help you to determine that. Then the effect of profit levels when sales mix is changed. The effect of changes in prices, costs, and volumes on profit. So you can actually be helped out by this Cvpa technique to actually determine all this. And we said in most cases it helps the managers. Let us actually click down and go. So this is our illustration of break-even chart. So members, we have two axes. We have x-axis and y-axis. Here, sales and costs are on y-axis, then level of activity on x-axis. So we have the total fixed cost curve here. This is a fixed cost curve. This is a total cost curve, then total revenue curve. So now, because I want to make more explanation and we go, the break-even point, you need to understand this one. The break-even point is here, or it is a point where the total revenue curve cuts the total cost curve. A point where the total revenue curve cuts the total cost curve is what we call the break-even point, this one. Now, we know that total costs here, total costs are equal to fixed costs plus variable costs. So this is a curve for total costs. This is a curve. Now, one may actually ask himself, where are the variable costs? So now, from this level down here, this level here to here is what we call the fixed cost starts from here and ends here. Then from here we have variable costs. So when we come to this very total cost curve, it means in between here, these are the variable costs, these are the fixed costs. When you get fixed costs plus variable cost, you get total what? Total cost represented by total cost curve. Then here, with the help of Cvpa analysis, the accountant is able to present facts to the management for action. Okay. Then the profit planning is based on break-even analysis, and can be worked out using either. Here we have methods we use in computing the break-even. When we are using this technique, we have some methods. One is algebraic, 2 contribution method, then the third one is the break-even chart. What are the assumptions of break-even analysis according to accountant's model? Members, maybe we shall actually meet the margin of safety. I'll also explain more about this. So now let us actually see the assumptions of break-even analysis according to accountant's model. The assumptions we have: one, the selling price remain constant. This technique assumes that prices are constant. It assumes costs are also constant. It assumes that the variable costs of production are constant. It assumes that costs and revenues will follow a linear trend. The costs and revenues will follow a linear trend, meaning that the costs remain the same, revenues will also be the same, which is not practically true. Organization produce only one type of a product. That is an assumption. Then third, the F, the only factor that affects costs and revenue is just production or volume. That it is only volume, or unit of output, or the total production, or the units of output that can actually affect what? Affect costs. Forgetting the fact that there are some other factors that can actually bring, or that can affect the production, or they can affect the what? The costs. Technology is assumed to also to be what? To be constant or the same throughout. It assumes that the technology does not change. The production level is equal to the sales level. That is, all that is produced is sold. It assumes that everything that is produced are what? Are sold, which is not this, which is not true. So let us actually continue. That the production level is equal to sales level. Okay, I have explained that one. Then the single product is assumed to be produced. This very analysis assumes that the organization is actually producing only one item. If it is producing, or maybe producing like the car tires, that is only that. It doesn't produce some other items. So now, meanwhile, as this very technique, since this technique has problems with it, or it assumes it has some assumptions, but these assumptions could be criticized. One, we want to see the limitations of break-even analysis. Limitations of break-even analysis. So, limitations of break-even analysis, we have number one, it is not true that the selling price will always remain constant. That is, the price cannot remain constant. This is true. Then two, that the cost of production per unit does not remain constant, because the costs may fall due to economies what? Due to economies of scale, which is true. So for this technique assumes that the costs, it assumes that the cost of production are constant, but this is not true when it comes to economies of what? Economies of scale. Then the economies today are dynamic, leading to changes in technology. Remember, the assumption was the level of technology remain what? Remain the same. It assumes, the assumption or the technique assumes that the level of technology is the same, but this is not true. Then we can actually have a short break and come back and continue.